Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be talking about another breaking trade that just went down in the NBA about a day ago. I'm sorry I wasn't able to upload this video on the day of the trade, but I was quite busy that day, but here it is now. So with that being said, let's get started. So if somehow you didn't know already, Carmelo Anthony was actually just traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder. I know it's shocking because we all expected him to probably go to the Rockets, but in the past few weeks that wasn't going anywhere, and then everyone thought also that he could go to Cleveland, and that seemed like a real possibility for a little bit. And then just like the Paul George trade to the Thunder, the Carmelo Anthony trade to the Thunder pretty much just came out of nowhere. I mean, we had heard nothing about Carmelo Anthony wanting to go to the Thunder, and because he has a no trade clause, it does matter where he thinks he should be, and he waived his no trade clause to go to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and it's really surprising. But now let's see what it means and who was included in the trade. So basically, Carmelo Anthony was traded to the Thunder for Enes Kanter, a 2018 second round pick, and Doug McDermott. And even when you hear about it at first, I think you can instantly tell this was a steal for the Oklahoma City Thunder, who, just like the Paul George trade, seemed to pretty much pull the rabbit out of a hat and get a great player right out of thin air. Now, despite what a lot of people think about how Carmelo Anthony is old and washed up and he's bad and he's not good anymore, he's not like his former self. I mean, I get it. Obviously, he's not as good as used to once be, but I think Carmelo Anthony is still a very solid player who can play as a star. And I think, considering Westbrook, George, and Melo, you should be able to consider that a big three. They're all players who are great. Obviously, Westbrook and George are amazing, and then you obviously have Carmelo Anthony, who I think is still a great player despite what ESPN says. And now, for the things that the Thunder had to send back, I mean, Doug McDermott, really, I don't think he means that much to them. In the 2018 second round pick, I don't think that means that much to them either. But the thing is, Enes Kanter, I mean, he was actually a pretty solid big man, but as good as he was, I think that putting him into this trade, it really came out better for the Thunder. I mean, Kanter was good, but I think what they got back, Carmelo Anthony, was definitely better. And now for the Knicks, once again, I don't know what the Knicks front office was really even thinking. I mean, what is this? Like the billionth time that the Knicks have screwed up on something? I mean, I really don't know what they are thinking. Maybe they could make work with Kanter, but I think they already have Porzingis, who's a pretty solid big man. So, and honestly, Doug McDermott, he's not going to do anything in that second round pick next year. Well, we'll just wait and see about that. Now let's go back and talk about the Thunder. I mean, the Thunder's starting lineup right now is actually looking pretty solid. Here's how it is. It's Westbrook, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, Patrick Patterson, and Steven Adams. Now, Steven Adams, he's a solid big man, as he proved last year. I think he actually has some worth. And then you have Patrick Patterson, who showed that he can be a stretch four, sort of like Kevin Love. So the thing is, they don't need the ball that much, and you'll see why that's good in just a sec. Because if you look at the rest of the lineup, Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and Carmelo Anthony, they're all players who have proved that they need to have the ball a lot of the time, and they all like to sort of control the offense. I mean, last season we saw Westbrook averaging a triple-double, but of course, even when KD was there, you could tell that Westbrook needed to control the ball and run the offense. And then you have Paul George. Paul George, I think he can sometimes work off the ball because he's pretty good at catch and shoot. The thing is, Paul George, he has also showed that he needs to control the offense a lot. And then you have Carmelo Anthony. Everybody's criticized him for being an ISO player, so obviously he needs the ball a lot as well. I think this does create a problem for them, and you can see that it's different from former big threes we've had, because if you look at the Miami Heat, they had LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. Basically, they had like two guards/forwards and one big man. If you look at the Celtics, they had Paul Pierce, Rajon Rondo, and Ray Allen, and Kevin Garnett. Basically, they had a big man, and then they had some guards, and that's how a lot of the big threes and super teams in the past have worked. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how they try to manage all of these guys together and get that chemistry working, because it is really untraditional in that they don't have a star big man. I mean, once again, Steven Adams is good, but he's not that star big man that you're looking for in a super team. So I think it's going to be really interesting. And I think if you look at the other big threes also, you look how there's one player whose role has sort of been reduced, who basically just resorts to that catch and shoot. And one example you'll see of that is Kevin Love. I mean, Kevin Love used to be great with the Minnesota Timberwolves, and he's still pretty good with the Cavaliers, but people have forgotten what he really can do because he's been reduced to sort of that catch and shoot spot. Because if you have a big three, you need one guy to sort of step down a little bit, because not everybody can always be controlling the ball. Now it's interesting to see who's going to be that one person in the Thunder, because obviously everybody can't control the ball and they all are ball dominant players. Now just my personal guess, I do think it's going to be Carmelo Anthony, but let me know down below what you guys think in the comments. That's about it for the video. I hope you all did enjoy. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos like this, and comment down below what you think of this whole trade, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.
That's what Melo does. Well defended, can't stop that step back. Lethal, deadly.